here we are with the Spider-Man and the Explanation number 2 review. But before that, I have to say I have been really missing this story when the issue number 1 came. But here is the time, issue number 2. I have read it quite a while ago. I have seen the preview also, and maybe on last week I have read it, but today I am reviewing it. It's pretty much late I wanted to do, but that is the thing. I have to say that I was really pretty much busy on the last week. So here we go with the IGN.com review about this thing, the Spider-Man and the Explanation number 2 review. So Professor Spidey rises to the challenge. This series definitely reads like the true successor to Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men in terms of tone. Writer Elliot Callan offers a much more light-hearted and goofy counterpart to the rest of the X-Men franchise, and by and large, that's the right approach to take when you are dealing with a comic that pairs Spider-Man with the misfit youths of the Jean Grey school. So this series still shows little desire to explore more dramatic depths, but it's plenty entertaining for what it is. Callan doesn't linger too long on his current conflict, which is more than can be said for some Xbox this week, as the team up of Stegron and Sauron is played largely for laughs. There's been little to gain from drawing this story out for another few months. Instead, Callan uses the situation to test his heroes and force Spidey to assume the role of mentor. Callan has clearly done his homework in terms of character relationships and his stories. Meanwhile, the supervillain team up becomes that much more amusing when both Sauron and Stegron begin competing for Shark Girl's affections. Obviously, both villains have been painted in a more flattering light in the past, but really, what's the harm in mining the idea of talking dinosaur supervillains for all its comedic value? One element that didn't go over so well in issue 1 was the oddly frosty dynamic between Spidey and the adult X-Men. So this issue gives little indication of how that dynamic will evolve as Spidey and his students spend the entire issue on their disastrous field trip. That said, the brief scenes of Storm venting her frustrations are much more effective than the endless barrage of hostility seen in issue 1. Mark Ruffalo impresses again with his vibrant, energetic artwork. His expertly suited to match Callan's goofy approach with his visuals, injecting the book with plenty of side gags and keeping the story humming along. So overall, it gets a 7.5. That is pretty much good. So Spider-Man and the X-Men 2 offers another wacky and entertaining but dramatically light team-up adventure. So Superior Spider-Talk says it a lot of things about this issue, so by no means is this to say that issue 2 of Callan's series is worth disregarding. Far from it. The series has great comedic moments and fabulous art. It's also a kick for families who read comics together. Still, things about Peter seems off that in this issue, the responsibility Wolverine bestowed to Spider-Man and that whole sniff out of the mole thing is one that Peter has taken quite seriously, so seriously that at times it seems primary to even protecting his mutant peoples. While they may be the troublemakers and class clowns of Jean Grey Academy, Peter would never shirk the responsibility of their safety. All of his characteristics are present in the dialogue and jokes, but the spirit of Spider-Man is either missed or forgotten. For the sake of the story, Peter even throws in the towel at the discovery that the dinosaur herd are actually transformed humans. A seemingly dignified decision, but it's followed with no plan on Peter's part. It felt like a convenient way to get the characters into Sauron's headquarters, though that is through a contrived series of events and turn-coding the gang bands together and convinces Reed Dubs Stygian into reversing the Dino Ray. Yes, Dino Ray. Readers are then left to assume Captain America has been called in to clean up this mess so that the story can run right into the pages of the next arc. It's a slick old hat gag that Callan uses to take out the bad guys, and it shows no real talent or skill on the behalf of the heroes other than determination and distraction. That's happened most of the time. So hope you guys have liked it, Spider-Man and the issue and the X-Men issue number 2. So here it is. It's a good read and have a great day. Don't forget to leave a like and go to the store, buy this book, support the creators and enjoy the book.